All right, Pisces, I'm going to try this one more time. Okay, moving right along to the coyote in the west position. The coyote is a teacher. It teaches through trickery. It actually teaches through backwards lessons, things that we cannot get right on. The lessons may come through the back door, or they may come sideways, or, in other words, you may have to hunt for the messages that are coming through. And this is in your past position, which tells me that there have been a lot of lessons that you have learned this way. But this is a part of this teaching as well. So you have a couple of totems that you're moving with: coyote, which is the teacher, and then the crow, which is the law keeper. And then I have another totem card for you too. So lots of totems for you to move and maneuver with, Pisces, moving into January. But specifically those lessons that are more difficult lessons to learn, but that you have to learn through different ways, or through not as a direct lesson, but as an indirect lesson that you have been learning. In the north position, which is wisdom, is about sacrifice, and that is knowing the wisdom of sacrificing, the wisdom of being able to let go of the things that are no longer needed to make room for the things that are coming through that are going to ultimately transform you. I see you being able to see this and understand this very clearly. I see that you already have a deeper understanding of that. And that would make sense to me, because of this crow energy that you're moving with, and because of what you have learned through your past experiences. That just lets me know that the types of information that you were learning were really about this transformation that's happening in your world, Pisces, and in your lifestyle. And then in the east position, which is the open door, it's the open gateway that leads to the next thing, and also our hopes and dreams and aspirations. We have taming the wind. So as you are approaching the next phases of life, as you're moving through January and into February and crossing some thresholds in your life, just know that those things, those unseen energies that are coming in, you're going to learn how to manage that. You're going to learn how to harness that energy. And wind energy is powerful energy. It's energy all the same. So being able to harness that is important. The wind is associated with the element air. So we think about our thinking and our mind and our cognition and how we are thinking through our processes. So if things seem kind of out of sorts to you, or it seems like things are blowing in the wind, then you want to get your mind wrapped around it, and you want to get your mind still, because being able to still the mind will allow you to be able to manage these, to manage what's coming into you more easily. And I see that on the plane with the coyote and the crow. And because of that, that means that some of those lessons that you're learning, and also that information that that's coming in relationship to being able to navigate the laws of nature, is a part of being able to manage all that's coming in. And there's a lot coming in for everybody in the month of January. So Pisces, you being able to navigate that is a really important thing, and maybe important information for other people as well. All right, I chose this fox, which kind of goes right along with the energy of the coyote for you. I had chosen this before we pulled the medicine card, or the mystical shaman cards. And so the fox is to be cunning, to use your wit, to be quick-footed, and to be able to maneuver around some of the obstacles that you may be faced with. I think that this energy goes right along with the crow energy, because the crow is able to see all sides of a situation, or able to see what is hidden. So if you are seeing what's happening around you, and you know that there are some things that are not quite adding up, then you'll want to use your wit and your quick-footedness and your ability to kind of maneuver in the dark and see through things that may be hidden, in order for you to be able to know what you're going to do next. And I think that that also corresponds to the coyote as well. So lots of lessons being learned for you, Pisces, and particularly lessons of a spiritual nature, because all of these animals, the coyote, the fox, the crow, all of those animals are spirit animals. Of course, they're all spirit animals because we're talking about totems, but they are animals that are associated with being able to move effectively, especially if there is a situation where just normally going about things in a normal fashion are not working, right? So if you are employing some of your own tactics, your own skills, your own talent, your own know-how, and it's not moving anything or it's not improving anything, then you may have to rely on some unconventional ways. There may be some unconventional wisdoms that you need to tap into so that you'll be able to deal with the situations that are approaching you in the month of January. So that is your medicine wheel reading. I'm going to go right to the I Ching. The I Ching I like for general overview. It really gives a good solid overview of overarching messages. Like, I think I Ching is more for overarching messages than it is for detailed, although you can use I Ching for detailed messages as well. I tend to like to use tarot for details and I Ching for some like overarching big lessons. So today we're just going to look at the bigger lessons, or the bigger picture for you Pisces for the month of January. I am using I Ching cards. There are also I Ching coins. We can use a coin method if you are interested in a personal reading, or we can do yarrow sticks too. There's several different ways to build the hexagram, but we're using the cards today for the sake of time more than anything else. So we have the first card, which is going to be the passage from which I'm going to read. And then the second card will give us some changing lines. And then those messages will give a little bit more detail. We'll go into a little bit more detail. All right, so your card is number 43. I really like this image here. Number 43. And again, I'm going to read the passage. Just kind of let this information fall over you and just kind of absorb it that way, so that you're not taking in information that doesn't really pertain to you. Only that which resonates is what you'll want to connect to here. Unfavorable forces lose their influence. Oh, the card number 43 relates to breakthroughs and resolutions. Breakthroughs and resolutions. Unfavorable forces lose their influence as you influence, and you can achieve a breakthrough, but you must act resolutely and perhaps even uncompromisingly. Admit to your intentions and aims. Fight hard, but keep smiling. Violence and hatred are beneath you. So if you're dealing with any of those kinds of negative emotions, they're underneath you, not in front of you and not above you. Should you succumb to negative emotions, those very forces which you're fighting against will take hold. Be careful not to project your own mistakes onto other people. Your environment always holds the mirror up to your own behavior, and it's absolutely certain that the fruit of your own actions will be reaped by you alone. All right, so deeply self-reflective in nature there. That passage is definitely reflective, I think. And especially if you are experiencing some breakthroughs and you need to resolve some things for yourself, just remember not to tap into those or get into the negative emotions if people are carrying negative energy or trying to get you to fall into the negative in your speech or your actions. No. All right, so the second card, which is card number 49, is going to tell us which lines change. So we look; these are the lines that we're looking at for your initial reading. And then what I do is look at the lines that change. So the first line is the same. It's a solid line. The second line changed to a broken line. So 2 is an important message there. Line 3 didn't change, line 4 didn't change, line 5 didn't change, and line 6 didn't change either. So the only line we're going to be reading today is line 2. So I think that there's a very succinct message here for all Piscean people. Line 2 says, when you combine resolution with carefulness, watchfulness, and inner strength, then all difficulties fade away. So a sense of resolve, coupled with or paired with being careful, being watchful, and tapping into your inner strength is going to be what helps fade away any difficulties that you may be experiencing. Be prepared for anything, and you will also be forearmed and cannot be caught on the hop. I don't know what that means. Caught on the hop. So I don't know. I guess that means get caught out there or something on something that happens that doesn't need to, that isn't for you. I guess that's what that means. If somebody knows what that means, help me out. All right, so we're looking at resolutions and breakthroughs for you as an overarching theme. There's some messages and some warnings and some advice in relationship to that, but overall, expect some breakthroughs in the month of January and coming to some resolutions, which ultimately is going to help with that new level of foundation building for you, Pisces. All right. Moving right along, we are going to go right into the wealth reading, and I am working with, for wealth, I am working with the money and the law of attraction cards, and I do like these cards because they help change your mindset around your money, which is usually what needs to happen if you're having an issue with it. It says, my attention to it invites the essence of it. My attention to it invites the essence of it. Anything that you're giving your attention to is an invitation to the essence of it. Saying I want money, but it will not come is the same as saying come to me, absence of money, which I do not want. When you're thinking of money in the way that will make it come to you, you always feel good. When you're thinking of money in the way that keeps it from coming to you, you always feel bad. That's how you know the difference. So it's pretty simple. If you're thinking about money and it's in the negative, then you're pushing the money away from you. If you're thinking about money and it's a positive, then you're pulling it towards you. So you want to increase the number of opportunities where you're thinking about money in the positive and decrease the number of times that you think about money in the negative. And when you're doing that, you'll be well on the road to starting to draw that wealth towards yourself in a positive way, or using positive thinking to bring the wealth to you. And it's not about, what you got to do and who you got to connect with and how much, how much money you're going to make or what have you. All right. So as promised, what I'm going to do is read from the tarot for details. I'm going to pull 3 cards around your wealth situation and look at your current mindset, and then the past influences that are in the past experiences that are influencing your current mindset. And then the last card I'm going to look at is what you need to do moving forward, or what is some good advice or something to think about in order to shift into a new order for yourself and your money. All right, so in the middle, your current mind state is the Fool. It's you're starting over in terms of your money and your wealth and your finances. You may have come from a bad period going into new period, but the main thing is you're starting over. You're starting fresh. You're having a new outlook for your finances and your wealth, and you are looking to make that solid. Having a solid experience in relationship to that, not something that is not about frivolous spending. Let's just put it that way. So a new mindset and away from the frivolous is what we're hoping for. In the past, you've done some soul searching, it looks like to me, some deep soul searching, probably in relationship to how you are emotionally attached to your finances and your wealth, or how your wealth is affected through your emotions or through your feelings, or how you're feeling about the money. Again, when we go back to this message about how you're thinking about it and what you're saying about it and how you feel. If you're feeling bad about the money, then that's what you're going to get. If you're feeling good, that's what you're going to get. But it looks like you've done a fair amount of soul searching on this, and you realize that how you're thinking is not going to be conducive to you being able to amass the money or the wealth that you're looking for. And so you are starting over again, or getting a fresh start on your thinking. And then moving forward, we have the 9 of Cups. And Nine of Cups is a good luck card. That's when everything comes through for you, and you're able to receive the abundance that's in the universe. Nine of Cups is a good luck card, so you can expect some good luck, or maybe some lucky breaks, or maybe you may have some windfalls or something like that, or it may be some news that may come in that in relationship to this that will represent some positive forward movement in terms of your finances and in terms of your wealth. Okay. I will continue throughout the year to get this money. So for those of you who are really focused on your finances, check out Get This Money, which is my video series about money and wealth and how to think about money and wealth. We'll get that cranked up again in January of 2020. So be on the lookout for that. And I do that according to the element, but I do break it down into the signs within that reading. Okay. All right, so the last card the last reading is the love reading, and I read from the Alphabet for Lovers. It's a Kabbalistic connection here with these cards, which I really like. So for those of you who are studying the Kabbalah or know the Kabbalah, there's some information in here for you. But for those of you who are not, there's still really good, solid relationship advice that comes through these cards, both good, bad, and ugly. And the Oracle does not, it gives you all of it. Just keep in mind, if you're not in a permanent or committed relationship, you're not married or you're not in a committed relationship right now, there is information in this oracle about if you are single. And then there's also messages for other kinds of other kinds of love connections or soulmate connections. And you have to remember that not all soulmates are lovers or are romantic partners. So sometimes you all are soulmated with your friends or with your family members or even people that you work with. So if you're not in this kind of relationship right now, you can apply it wherever it fits. All right, so Pisces, this is the card here. I don't know if you can see it well. If I put it too close, it's not gonna focus. Let me see here. But anyway, we have this woman being lifted by someone else. It seems to be other people here too. The card, on the back of the card, there's another little message, and this talks about frequent mate swapping. I don't know if you're in a relationship where you guys are kind of playing the field, or somebody might be out, or you might be out, or it could be that you've made an agreement to do this. I don't know. But anyway, this is what this card brings up. So if you're not doing any mate swapping and you're 99.9% sure that your mate is not swapping, then this may or may not be for you. But if it is, I don't know. Everybody's got a different lifestyle, and everybody gets down differently. So we're not judging. We're just saying that this may apply to you. It's associated with the Hebrew letter Nun, and Nun is the 14th letter, so 14 may be significant if you have an anniversary relationship starting on the 14th, birthdays on the 14th. This may relate to you. It's also related to Scorpio and to Pluto. So if you are with a Scorpio mate or otherwise influenced by Pluto, that may be significant. Its value is 50, so 5 may be important, and it is associated, or it falls between Netzach and Yesod, which is foundation and eternity, and it's associated with water. So some of you may be connected with somebody with the water element. Yourself, you are a water element, Pisces, but you might be relating to somebody who's also in a water element. And it is associated in tarot to the death card, so death and regeneration, or death and rebirth. So some of you may be in relationships where things are dying off and being reborn. All right, so this says frequent mate swapping. If it applies to you, it applies. If it doesn't, it doesn't. An obsessive desire for change and variety may create ongoing difficulties in your relationship. The fear of aging and not experiencing life sufficiently pushes you toward a constant search for new relationships, only to subsequently destroy them in an endless cycle. So remember, we said it was associated with death. That's a cycle of life and death. So remember, if that applies to you, then you want to look at your fears. People who marry and divorce on a regular basis have a feeling that they are trapped and exploited in a binding framework and thus can never reach their utmost spirituality. Such people do not commit to one steady connection. Every new relationship is a battlefield for them, each time with a different rival, and when it ends, they fall into dark depths, collect themselves, renew their youth, and hurry to find the next thrill. Okay, Pisces. You know, you got to know yourself. You got to accept yourself. If that's your paradigm, then just say, hey, that's what it is. With every new beginning, their souls come to life after a long period of obliteration. This is an independent type of person with great depth who is addicted to pleasures, intuitive, and operates out of a gut feeling. Prone to extreme behavior, he shuts his emotions inside and does not express them until they erupt destructively and spin out of control. This could be you or it could be another person. Only after we peel away all the extraneous layers and are left with the bare skeleton do we know what we're really looking for in a relationship. We can then distinguish what's important and what is unnecessary and dispose of the things that do not work for us. So that's the deal there. There's nothing really else to say. That's the only information that comes through with this card. If that relates to you, if that's you, Scorpio, go in and address it, deal with it, know that that's what's going on, and then deal with it. Either accept it and go with it and make sure you're communicating that with your partners that you're with. If you're a person who has to have that wondrous variety, then your partner needs to know it. There's all kinds of partnering out there. So don't feel like you have to repress this, but you do have to communicate it so that if this is you, so that your other partner knows what's going on and there's nothing in the dark about that. Likewise, if this is your partner, you want to be able to get that communication going so that you can be clear. And if it's something that you cannot accept, if that's something you cannot accept, then you know it's time for you to move on, and you know that you need to communicate that to your partner. All right, folks, that is it. That's a wrap for January 2020. I hope you have a great one. If you need to reach out for a personal reading, my information is below. As always, I hope you have a great January and you're having a wonderful life.